Yes, people, Charles Oliveria has come out and said if Islam Makhachev isn't ready to fight before October, he'd like to fight Max Holloway for the BMF title. Let's talk about it. So, I actually think if this happens, it would be an amazing fight. Max Holloway's striking and the stand-up's obviously one of the best in the whole of the UFC. And Charles, you've seen recently over like last 3-4 years, his Muay Thai has got so good. I think it'll be a really high-level matchup, and I think Charles's striking will be able to be as good as Max's striking. Obviously, Charles probably has a bit better kicks, but Max's boxing is definitely a lot better. And obviously Charles, if it goes to the ground, he definitely has an advantage in the striking. But if we look at the actual fight, don't get me wrong, it'd be amazing. But I don't understand how it helps the lightweight division. Max Holloway's in like a weird situation. He's just been knocked out by the featherweight champ in the title fight, Oliveria, and he's now obviously moving up to lightweight, and it's a bit confusing on who he fights because he is the BMF, and I like the idea of keeping that tradition going, the BMF title keep going, and for him to fight Charles, I do like that idea. But I really think now that Arman Tsarukyan isn't getting the next title shot, he should fight Charles. He is basically the number one contender. I know he's not, because Dana said he's not fighting for the title next, but realistically, he is the number one contender. He was meant to fight and then he pulled out with one day. So I think the next number one contender is Charles. He just beat Michael Chandler and he lost to who is the number one contender in Arman Tsarukyan. So I do think they should run it back for a nice 5-round co-main event, maybe in like May or June. International Fight Week would be great. I know Max actually said that to Charles, which it'd be amazing. Like, I'm all for that fight, but I think if that fight happens, where do you then go? Who fights Arman? Who fights the winner of Hooker Gaethje? Like, I think if that happens, I don't know where the lightweight goes. And who fights Islam Makhachev? That's an even better one. Islam Makhachev, I swear I seen in an interview after his fight, he said he wants to fight in June, International Fight Week. I think, my personal opinion, the best fight the UFC, in the entire UFC, any division, bar John Jones, Tom Aspinall, the best fight they can make is Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. I think that'll be the highest level fight and the best, and everyone will be so hyped for it. Two people with massive followings, and if Islam could knock out Volk, Max Holloway and Islam Makhachev within 2 years or 18 months, that'd be the craziest little run of all time. But is it fair on Makhachev to fight another person from the division below? And if he beats Topuria, nothing really happens. Like, if Topuria becomes the featherweight GOAT, then it looks good in the long run, but he's got to become the featherweight GOAT. So I think Islam Makhachev does deserve to go for double champs. I know a lot of people, like I seen, like Sean O'Malley was going to fight, wanted to fight double champ. Dracus, double champ. Loads of people want to do double champ, but I don't actually think Dracus did actually, but loads of people want to do double champ when they've had one defense. Like, let's relax, you've got to clear out your whole division like Islam has done. So I think Islam should, it's annoying that he doesn't fight Bilal, and I think I've seen that he isn't going to fight Shavkat either, which is annoying. So maybe he can jump to 185 and fight Dracus, but that is pretty wild if he does that. So either I think he fights Tsarukyan versus Charles winner, so hopefully that happens. But if Charles and Max happen, I think obviously the winner of that then fights Islam. Or I think if Charles wins, he definitely fights, and then the winner of Hooker Gaethje fights Arman Tsarukyan. But if Max Holloway wins, he's only won one fight. Does that deserve a title shot? If Max Holloway wins, does he then fight the winner of Tsarukyan versus the winner of Gaethje Hooker, or does he just fight Tsarukyan, or does he just straight fight Islam Makhachev? Let me know what you think. I just wanted to come on, do a little video and gauge what people thought, because it's dead confusing. Like, if that fight happens, Charles Max, what happens to the winner? Who do they fight? Do they go and fight Islam Makhachev, or do they fight Arman Tsarukyan, or do they fight Gaethje Hooker? Whoever wins out of that fight. And even if forget Charles and Max, say that timeline doesn't add up, if Gaethje Hooker, that's in 6 weeks in March, if Islam wants to fight in June, then, and say Charles isn't the number one contender, because I've seen not a lot of people want to see that fight. I personally, I don't. I want to see Topuria or Sarukian. I don't want to see Charles. Charles did just get beat by Sarukian. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, it's a weird one. But if Gaethje Hooker, whoever wins, that's a Hooker wins, and then he's on a bit of a win streak, he's just beat Gamrot, just beat Gaethje, he's beat Jalen Turner, then does he deserve to fight Makhachev in June? Or does he have to then fight Sarukian? But I know Sarukian, Michael Chandler called out Sarukian, but I did like Sarukian's response saying, I'd rather fight the person who beat you twice in Charles, which I think should be the fight. I think Gaethje Hooker obviously fight. I think Sarukian Charles should fight, and that should be the number one contender. And then whoever wins out of Sarukian Oliveira, so whoever wins out of Sarukian Oliveira, then they fight Islam Makhachev, and whoever wins out of Hooker Gaethje, they then get put into another number one contenders fight. It's a hard one with Justin Gaethje, because if Justin Gaethje wins, say he then fights Max Holloway again, what's the point in that? Max just knocked him out. But if Hooker wins, I think Hooker Holloway for the number one contenders fight would be a pretty sick fight. So let me know what you think. I know it's quite a confusing one to wrap your head around, and obviously you got Gamrot Fiziev, but Gamrot just lost to Hooker, and then obviously Fiziev has been out injured for ages, so it's a weird one. You've got Moicano probably fight Paddy the Baddy, and then you'll have what you do with Beneil Dariush and Dustin Poirier. I think them two should fight each other, but who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you later.